Welcome to another episode of RewardLion. Today we have a special guest for you. His name is Marco. He's the founder of MedTech. How you doing, Marco?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So today we want to talk a little bit about MedTech and what is really MedTech and MedTech International, and how did you come up with the idea and your background? Like, we can start with your background. What is your background?
Well, let's talk about my background. So, nationality, I'm Cuban. I was born in Cuba, spent some time in Spain. My family came to Miami in 83, 84, and we've pretty much been here ever since. I'm a Westchester kid. You know, grew up there, went to school there, and that's that's where I'm from. My background, my professional background is I have just all these things that I've done over the years, right? Good or bad. Either I guess I just couldn't make up my mind, you know. I spent a lot of time in the Navy, right, in the military, did some things there. Then I got into the VIP protection world for some time. I became a EMT paramedic for a very short period of time. And then I got the wild idea, right, to go to medical school and become a doctor in the early 2000s. So that's what I did. But you know, even that wasn't enough. I went to school, finished school, became a doctor, but there's always the need to do more, right?
Yeah.
So I figured out a way to take everything that I've learned in my life and sort of mash it together. And I came up with MedTech International, where I started off teaching, you know, life-saving skills, first aid, stop the bleed, that kind of stuff to the community.
Okay.
Right? Whether it was schools, individuals, groups, whatever. And then because of that, you know, you would get the same question after every class. Hey, bro, great class, cool story, but where do we get a tourniquet? Where do we get a bandage? Where do we get this? You talked about all this stuff. Now, what do we do? So then I started putting together little supplies for the classes, you know, having a little tourniquet here, a little bandage here that people could buy. And that sort of spiraled into the monster that it is now, which is a full-time, you know, legitimate business, e-commerce, fulfillment, kits and supplies for, you know, special forces, combat medics, law enforcement, public safety, preppers, prepared individuals, soccer moms, everybody, right? Because first aid is universal.
Yep.
Everybody needs this stuff. And it's not just restricted to one or two communities or professionals or whatever.
So, and then a lot of product. I seen like there's 1,500 probably.
There's probably like 1,500 SKUs on the website, and you know, a lot of it is not what you might think, right? A lot of it is not the band-aids and the what do you call it, the
gear.
Well, the just the things that you would buy on a Walmart or CVS first aid kit, that's probably not there, right? What you have is like things that will actually do the work. There's different kinds of tourniquets, different kinds of high quality bandages. There's these things called chest seals. There's, you know, stuff for hypothermia. And then of course, you've got to find a way to carry it all. So there's pouches for your belt, for your ankle, for your vest. There's backpacks of every size. There's litters. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you never really would have thought of, but they're there.
And you put them all together for them, so they have like an entire set, like it's a...
Sure, if they want to. You know, most of the stuff you can just buy piecemeal individually, but we have pre-made kits, and then not only that, but we have pre-made solutions. So if you're a church, for example, and you want to just, you're getting started, you could buy a defibrillator, an AED with a cabinet with a first aid kit built into it, and then some bags that go along with it.
And it's not just the product; it's the knowledge too.
It's the knowledge that goes with it, because that's how I started. I started off with knowledge, and then I sort of dabbled into product. The knowledge stopped for a while because I found it a little bit difficult to try to manage both things. But now I'm getting back into the knowledge part.
Nice.
Right? Slowly but surely. I do a lot of training for professionals in different parts of the hemisphere, right? I speak Spanish, so I'll go to Mexico and Ecuador and these countries and train the police and special forces and these guys. I don't necessarily advertise it that much, but they find you.
Yeah.
Right? They just find you one way.
You got the reputation.
Yeah, the
already.
reputation, you know? So I wanted to find a way to share this knowledge with the world. And that's when I started to do just little talking head videos on Instagram and little things like that. And that is what's going to be leading up to what we're doing in 26, which is all these online training portals and courses built specifically for audiences, right? The ones that are currently in production is I took two of the things that I thought were, or two of the communities that I thought were very relevant in this world that have been the target of violence recently. Schools, and churches.
That's true.
Right? So I've written books for both of these, right? Medical response book for both of these. And now I'm working on the training component, right? You'll be able to go to the website and sign up for the course and a bunch of different modules that teach you things, but written and spoken in a tone that's relevant to the audience, right? Because a lot of people will go on the internet and they want to learn emergency medicine and tactical medicine, and they'll see all these, vet bros, and they teach you things that were great in Kandahar, that were great in Fallujah, but are not good for Hialeah.
That's true.
They're not going to work in a city street, and the language and the way that it's explained to you is very relevant for the civilian audience.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to have it simple.
You want to have it simple because what people should understand, and this is may not be as obvious as it should be, when there's some kind of like emergency, it doesn't matter where it is, whether it's in your house, whether it's at work, in a place of worship, it doesn't matter. You would be surprised at the amount of things you can do to try to help that person before EMS shows up.
Yes.
Or before the police show up, right? But you have to have the knowledge. And even if you don't have the equipment, by having the knowledge, you could do something about it. It's case in point. Say there's an incident or an accident at your house. There's a cut. You get cut with glass, a knife, whatever. There's a shooting incident at work. You get shot, etc. Most people will tell you, hey, you got to go put a tourniquet on that thing, this, that, and the other. Great.
Put pressure on the wound.
But do you have a tourniquet, right? Is this near you? Do you have it at home? Do you have it in your office? What happens if you don't? Everybody learns pressure.
Yeah.
But there's a right way to do pressure. There's a wrong way to do pressure. There's the concept of wound packing, right? That people can be very apprehensive with, but you can do this with a t-shirt, a piece of cloth. You don't need wound packing gauze. You don't need hemostatic gauze. By learning some of these concepts,
you can save a life.
You can save a life, man.
Like everybody has fire extinguishers everywhere.
Everybody's got fire
extinguishers.
extinguisher.
Car, but no kit, no aid kit, nothing really.
And again,
no knowledge.
Right. Even if you do, just with the knowledge, you could do something about it.
Go ahead.
So case in point, a few years ago, one of the classes that I did a class for teachers and alumni at Columbus High School, my alma mater here in Miami. Class went fine, uneventful, this, that, and the other. In that class, there was a dude that I just ran into him this weekend at our pig roast, right? I ran into this guy this weekend. So this guy, very nondescript individual, just very simple, and I don't mean that in a bad way, just sort of average-looking guy, average guy. Didn't speak to him in the class very much, but he just sat there, took notes, practiced when it was time to practice. Fast forward 9 months or 10 months, whatever it was, there was an incident here in Miami where a police officer was riding his motorcycle. He crashed into the back of a car, was pinned underneath the car.
Wow.
This guy saw the incident happen, and because of the class, he bought first aid kits and kept them in his vehicle, right? And he went out and he put tourniquets on this police officer, and he's credited with saving his life.
That's
right?
amazing.
Other police departments came, I think from the Miccosukee came and helped them out. But this guy, an accountant or a sales guy, whatever he was, he took the one class, the one time, remembered it, the concept,
Implemented it.
went out, bought the supplies, and then did something about it when the time came. He was honored by Miami-Dade Police Department. He was honored by the county. And he's credited with saving this guy's life, this officer's life, man.
Now he's a hero.
Now he's a hero, you know. And there's a whole bunch of different examples like that, which is part of the reason why I do what I do.
Educate people.
It's educate people, because you never know when it's your time to help somebody else, right? It could be your kid. It could be your parent.
And life is fragile.
Life is fragile. But the point is, there are things you can do, man. Mm-hmm. There are things you can do. One of the things that we didn't talk about earlier is one of the systems I'm developing. One of the courses that I'm developing is called the 1, 2, 3 system, right? It's because first aid is as simple as 1, 2, 3, right? I won't get into it too much, but these are 3 little things that you can do with no equipment.
Okay, just
right?
knowledge.
Just knowledge, right? If you don't have a professional, hypothermia blanket to keep the victim warm until EMS arrives, there's clothes, there's blankets. You can move them off a cold floor, that kind of thing. And it's something that I'm going to put out there, probably for free, because I want everybody to learn this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because you could do something about it, man.
One thing I noticed about you, you really want to educate people on how to manage emergencies like this and understand that you don't just have to wait, you can do something about it.
Right, because what's the problem with waiting, right? The thing that they teach you out there, you'll see this ad nauseum and all these YouTube videos and every course you take, is that, they'll say that you can bleed out in 3 to 5 minutes, right? You can exsanguinate, bleed to death in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, true. How long is it going to take for EMS to show up?
Could be more than 5 minutes.
Could be more than 5 minutes. And we are spoiled here in South Florida because we have some of the best EMS systems around.
Yeah.
There's a fire station in every corner.
They're quick.
Fire department will show up. But a significant injury to like the femoral artery or the carotid artery or something in your arm, man, they could be standing right outside and they may not get to you on time. But you can do something about it.
Yeah.
Right? And this is not surgery. This is not complicated stuff. It just requires a little bit of time and effort and knowledge and attitude, right? To act upon versus making a little semicircle around the patient that's bleeding out and taking a whole bunch of pictures of them like everybody else does, right? You don't want to do that. There's something you can do. And these things, everybody always talks about, I want to help somebody. Fine. This will save somebody's life. Mm-hmm. Like what greater way to help someone?
It already did. The story you just mentioned.
Yeah, and that's just one of the...
And that's one that you know.
That I know about because, some of the police officers that I work with in Mexico, I mean, these guys are under fire every single day. And I get messages from some of those guys every so often about the things that have happened to them. But this one was relevant because it happened here in Miami.
Yeah.
And it happened with a guy that, for all intent and purposes, had no experience.
Just an average Joe.
And there was a police officer involved.
Yeah. That's amazing. I think people, they want to help. They want to become a hero. They want to be able to save a life, but they just don't have the knowledge.
And the problem is that if you don't have the knowledge, the lack of knowledge causes inaction.
Yes.
Right? So what do? You just sit there and
stare. You don't know what to do.
And stare. You don't
know
what to do. nobody likes public speaking, right?
Yeah.
No one likes to get up in front of the audience and give a speech, about whatever. But what is the reason that is the case? And I always argue and I always tell people is that if you're a subject matter expert in your topic, that in and of itself takes away the vast majority of the scaredness, right?
Yes.
That you have going up in front of somebody, right? Because a lot of it has to do with your doubting yourself. You're not sure what you're going to say. Do I really know what I'm talking about kind of thing?
Yes.
But if you know your stuff, you're going to get up there and you're going to go blah, 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 and
It's
knock
natural.
it out.
It's natural.
Right? It's the same thing with this. People inherently, most people, want to help, but they just don't know how.
That's true.
That's the problem. And we'd like to change that.
Yes. I like this the story that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about it, but I know your father was a doctor too. You know, and he was a doctor in 3 different countries.
3 different countries, in Cuba, Spain, and then here, an ER physician. And I remember being out in different places in Miami with him and my mom, and people would come up to him like, "Hi, doctor,
Thank
you took care of my mom when she was in the hospital, blah, blah, blah." And then, my father being the guy that he is, he's like a 3-word guy. He'd be like, "Oh, okay," and smile. And then turn to my mom and he's like, "Hey, who was that?" But the point is that people remember who you are and how you help them.
Yeah.
So that little thing stuck in my head, and I've always wanted to do something
To help.
to have a positive impact on someone's life. Yeah. You could argue that, well, you do that every day when you're working in a hospital. Yeah, but that is a controlled environment with, you have a full team, you have a professional equipment with you. And it's very common for people to do. How do you take that knowledge and transfer it to the rest of the world?
Yeah. Now it's to the masses.
To the masses.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I said earlier, there's a certain number of things that people can do that will have a life-changing or saving effect on someone else.
Yes.
So that's my goal. Right?
It's in your DNA,
It's in the DNA. I was part of a group a few years ago with some great, great people. A good friend of mine, Dr. Josh Bobko from California, Mike Wiseman, a retired fire captain, and Navy and Marine Corps, Force Reconnaissance, SARC, Special Amphibious Recon Corpsman, medic. And we had this group called the First Care Provider Foundation. And the First Care Provider Foundation put together a Stop the Bleed type course that went international, right? And it was one of the only 3 that were recognized by Department of Homeland Security as an authorized Stop the Bleed, or as a recognized Stop the Bleed class. You have the big 800-pound gorilla course from the American College of Surgeons. You had the First Care Provider Program, and there was another one I think was called First on the Scene. And these are still to this day on paper as recognized courses. But, because of life responsibilities and the course, there was no way to monetize it at the time. It just sort of went off by its website, by the wayside, because all of the people involved were very, very busy and professional people. But that course helped a lot of folks in different parts of the world. So that idea always stayed with me. And now I want to do something, similar, and just, help folks.
And give back to the community.
Give back. And it doesn't matter who you are. My idea is to have content and knowledge that's applicable to you if you are a stay-at-home parent, a school teacher, construction worker, a tree trimmer, a landscaper. Tree trimmers and landscapers are some extremely dangerous occupations because you're dealing with moving machinery and blades, right? Long knives, long cutting tools. People that work in mines, cruise ships, hotels, convention centers, you name it. I want to speak to each audience because the core content of first aid is the core content of first aid. And it can be applied
to all
of them. We just got to word it properly.
And the difference between them having that small knowledge and not having it, it is a matter of death or life, like life or death.
Right.
So I think it's very important that people actually learn these things.
Mm-hmm.
I learned, like, I remember I got CPR course, some other courses.
Yeah.
Like when I used to be a security guard back in the days.
Yeah, man.
Because it was mandatory to have this. And it made a big difference. Like when we on the pool, when things are happening, you're very familiar. Like, okay, so there's something I know what to do if something happened. And what you're teaching people is like in many situations is like, okay, if a problem happens and you nearby, there's a better chance if you act.
And that's what I believe. I believe that one of the number one causes of inaction, or the number one cause of inaction, in my opinion, is just lack of knowing what to do.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you did, you might be able to fix that
Yes.
problem.
Now let's go ahead and switch this conversation to the business side of the conversation. Because in the end, in order for us to get our message out, our service, our product, our knowledge, we as business owners, we have to struggle with our infrastructure and our workflows and, just mapping our customer's journey.
Yeah.
And your business is constantly scaling, and
Right.
there's more products, more opportunity, more technology. And now technology is like, it's a sea of so many things. Everyone claims this product or this product or this product. But the problem I see most business owners are doing is they don't unify their operation.
Right.
If your technology is not a one ecosystem technology type of infrastructure, and the companies you work with or the people that you work with, they're not in the same ecosystem, what happens is a lot of lost opportunity.
Right.
Sometimes businesses go up and then they start going down.
Right.
They say it's easy to go up, but it's really difficult to stay up.
Yes.
So that's what happens to businesses. In your case, you are ahead of most business owners I know.
Right.
You're really on the edge. You know your stuff. You do your homework. And the one thing that you're struggling with is that you have a company that's doing your SEO. You have a company that's doing, articles. No, not articles. Customer service, email,
film
another
editing,
company, film editing,
graphic design.
So that's like already 4 or 5 companies right there.
Yeah.
At any point, you had all these companies in one room?
No.
Do you think that would be possible?
Of course, dude.
To have them in one room?
At some point, that's what I'd like.
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
No, if you have the existing structure, like you have all these people, if you tell them to sit down in one room, it's going to be a quiet room. Because nobody wants to share his information.
Oh, well, that's not going to happen now.
With this?
No, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get lucky if you have a Zoom call.
Yeah, but even in the Zoom call, it's a quiet Zoom call. Everybody is listening because,
sure.
Like even for me, like there's so much knowledge I have working with all these industries, managing all these businesses, the pain points. When I have a sit down and there is someone from another company, I consider them a competitor,
right?
Right. And even though they're not really a competitor in my eyes, but now if I share information with them, I'm creating my competition.
Well, so that's a great point, and I don't want to get too much into this because the situation that I'm about to talk in reference to, I know this individual and I know him very well for many years. I consider him a friend, this, that, and the other, but it had to do with advertising on Meta.
I think I remember what you're talking about.
You remember what I'm talking about, right? And it was a matter of like, there was not a whole lot of transparency there. And it was just because of that. It's like, well, I'm not going to show you what I do.
Yes.
because then you could do it on your own. But I'm paying a lot of money for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying. I need to know where am I.
But what happened when you switched to us?
Well, that was a whole different story.
Now you see everything that's
Now I can
happening.
see everything.
And we even like created everything on your account so you can hire and fire whoever you want.
And not knowing anything about the industry, I would speak to people, different other companies about advertising on Meta, on Google, whatever. And when I would explain what I was doing, it was just like, "Are you crazy?" kind of thing. Like, what are you doing? That is like not the way to do it. But I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So, I had to make a little bit of a switch. And of course, the way that my business came about is that it came about from nothing, right? What do they call it? They call it like bootstrapping when you pay for everything yourself and you is that what the term is? I don't know what the term is.
I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I think basically I don't have a loan, right? I don't have an investor.
self-invested. Like you just
Everything was done.
Yeah.
Whatever you make, you put it back. Whatever you make, you put it back. So I had to figure out every step of the way, right? When it came time to hire somebody for email marketing,
you had to
I had
go
find that
search.
person. And then same thing and so forth. So that's why I ended up with all this little hodgepodge of separate groups doing little separate things, because I don't have a corporate sponsor to say, "Hey, here's a whole bunch of money, and by the
here's
way,
how you do it."
here's your team."
Yes.
But eventually we have to streamline that.
Most companies, what they do is they want to create dependency, so you can only function through them.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
And that's what most companies really do to maintain their revenue streams and whatever. But what we do is we want you to be independent,
Right.
so you don't come and bother us in the future. We give you the systems, the software, the people.
Right.
There's still a relationship,
Right.
but you are self-sufficient and you're independent. And then the coaching is like, okay, did you know that there's a new way to do email marketing in this area?
Yeah.
And we really just want you to have independency, because we believe if you have a CEO or a founder and he has the right element of people to do the job, he can scale, and it's much more sufficient or much more efficient than hiring this company, wasting time here, going here,
Exactly.
doing that. And then as an owner, you don't even know what you need. So that's when the structure we have, RewardLion, I'm like, okay, so you need this and this and this and this and this. You need this person, and this person, and this person. Okay, these are the costs of these people.
Right.
This is where they live, whatever. And then we bring them on, and now you have your team that do daily meetings working on your business. Now, the CAPS program that I have is really to give a taste of that, but you are way advanced. You're in a stage where you need your team 100%. But for like customers that can't really go to that stage yet, that's when they have like a shared team.
Okay.
There's a team.
Okay.
They manage 5 different clients,
Yeah.
usually the same industry.
Right.
And then once they're like, oh man, I'm good, I'm getting stronger, I need my team, I don't want to share. And that's when you transition to like, manage your own team or train your own team. And that gives you power as an owner versus what happened to you. Because I know when you came to, and we met, and you were like, I'm like, he's hijacking your ad account. It's that simple, and it's not his ad account. It's your business. You are paying him. But sleazy people do sleazy stuff.
Well, he's not a sleazy guy at all. But that's his format.
But I can tell you from my experience,
That's his format. And
the ad account that the advertisement is running on, it should belong to you. The pixel he can claim, because you can claim your pixel as a company because you're doing a lot of work in the. But the ad account, the business manager, all these things, they really are yours. They're your product. You know? And you're not the first one. I seen worse. I had people come to me. They're like, "Oh, we shut down out of the business. Like they didn't know the security, they shut down
Yeah,
our business.
so-
And I learned this from experience. I had people hijacking my business a long time ago. That they locked me out of my own server, and that's when I realized, I learned that one quick. So the independence as an owner is very important because you need to control your environment.
You have to have some input, man. You've got to see what's going on.
Yes.
Because in some things you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So you think everything is hunky dory, whatever, and next thing you know, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything about it.
And another one, and another one, and another one. Yeah. Like I always say that the good formula is always, it depends on the stage. You need a developer.
Yeah.
To work with the codings and all these automations. You usually need a designer so he can do the brands, work on the brand.
Yeah.
Usually you need another one like a video editor.
Yeah.
I don't always recommend like the designer and the video editor. You really should be two different people because this is a different style. The video editor needs to be a hardcore video editor.
Right.
The designer needs to be a hardcore designer. Then you need the media buyer. Now media buyer, there are stages. I still have customers. They're like, "What does a media buyer do?"
Right.
I'm like, "He's the one who's running your ads and making you, the sales."
Right.
But this is a world. Like you can't just have a media buyer. It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a media buyer. I do everything." That's not true. Usually the strong ones are Google. They're weak on Meta.
Right.
Vice versa, and then they don't know nothing about LinkedIn.
Exactly.
And then that's just the media buying. But then there's other ways of media buying, which I consider like the SEO is part of it. Mm-hmm. That's another world. Mm-hmm. Now the SEO has GEO. Like now, you know what I mean? So it's constantly evolving.
Right.
And you as an owner, are you gonna run your business or are you gonna just look for help 24/7?
Yeah, because even it's just not. Even if you knew all of this stuff,
Can't do it.
you can't do it. Believe me, I've tried.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
You need 50, 60 hours a day.
I could be a subject matter expert in what I do, and I am, I guess, but I can't know. Number one, I can't know everything, or I can't know enough to be successful at all of these things that you just touched on: SEO, geo, email marketing, video editing, whatever. And even if I could, I don't have enough hands, eyes, and time to do all of that.
Yeah.
And do I really want to do that?
No.
Do I really want to do that? There's other things that I need to, whatever limited brain cells I have left that haven't been burnt out by now, I've got to focus on that.
Focus on the vision.
On the creative part of it, the idea part of it. What other book can I write? What other content can I develop? What product can I find, right?
Yes.
And all of these things take up a lot of your time.
Yeah. And what happens is they take a lot of your time, and then also the intentions behind each company. Like, look what happened to you. If it happened to you, let's say 3 years from now, it could harm you much more.
Right. And thankfully, luckily, I guess, it was early on.
Yes.
Right. It wasn't just a few months. It wasn't,
you catched it.
4 years of data.
Yeah, you catched it.
I saw something that I just needed to make a change.
Yes.
Right. And, you have to do that.
And then there's another big problem too. Like, in order for you to hire, let's say, this team and have them in your office, now you're probably not going to even make any profit as a start. Like, it's a lot of labor. Just one developer could cost you $100,000 a year to have them in your office. Right. And then if you want to get a good developer overseas, that's a bigger problem now because it's all fake CVs. So how are you going to qualify them? And even if you qualify them, they don't have a structure. They just you tell them what to do and they do it, but they don't have vision or anything. So it still doesn't work. Like, you have to have a support system of a company. That's why we have school, we have groups, we have education, we have constant meetings with them. We motivate them. We do the technical stuff. You have like account managers that become your success manager at one stage where they're like, okay, you just sit back and you tell them, listen, I'm thinking about 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they go meet with the team and figure it all out.
They implement it. They do it.
And then they come back and they implement all that under one ecosystem. And that helps your business grow, and you feel like you're not alone anymore. Because with companies, you still feel like alone.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the email marketing campaigns and the SEO company, they're not even working together to improve the SEO,
No.
even though they should work together to improve the SEO. So the marketing campaign, it should have links that or something that can help the SEO,
Right.
but they don't, and they won't. Media buying, like, you won't have, like right now we as doing the media buying for you, we don't know about anything else. So our strategy is just really, it's not in line with what you're doing,
Right.
because it's like this company, this company, this company. Another thing you're gonna face is like the virtual assistant and the AI systems and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a world of 90% scam. You know, everyone says the product, but then you spend so much time preparing, and then you launch, and then it's trash.
Right.
But what's your plan B? You won't have a plan B. Now you have to just redo. I've been in situations where I worked on software, and they sold me the world, and I spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're, it's working. You know, it's 4 to 6 months, and then after 6 months, I had absolutely zero.
Sure.
I only had like 6 figures less in my pocket. That's it, because they were just promising and giving bullshit. In your case, if you don't have someone on your side that can go in and like, no, boss, I think this is bullshit.
Right.
You're just gonna have to find out the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we try to prevent by giving the business owners really the tools.
Yeah.
Like from your experience, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Did you ever encounter a company that will do that for you?
No.
They just like, well.
No. Everybody that I've worked with so far has been, a one trick pony. You know, this is what we do. Email.
Yeah.
We do SEO. We do this. We do that. That's it.
And no communication. And not a single company came to you ever told you know what, you should have your own team.
Oh no.
Because now you're putting them out of business. And that's
or they just don't know. I mean, this is they know what they know.
Yeah.
Right. They know what they know, and if they can't do that service, then why are they gonna recommend you somebody else? I mean, they may recommend you a partner.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a guy that we work with for a website and this, that, and the other. But that's it.
So I think some companies I worked with in the past, and they knew what I was doing before lunch. And I had a big convention, and a lot of businesses were there, and they were all, supposed to work with me to spread this business structure. They wanted me out because, thank you. They wanted me out because they wanted to be like, they were like, you're going to run us out of business.
Yeah.
Because that business model, that why the hell are we going to be in business if every time you have a good company, you're just showing them how to, have their own team and grow their own infrastructure. Right. So why do they need us? And that's what I do. Like, I want you to be independent. We monitor, the team. You work with your team. If a team member ends up slacking, because we're humans,
right?
Sometimes they do. We work on your behalf, and we just like, okay, here's your warning. All right, you know what? It's time to replace this person because they lost their motivation or they lost their work ethic, even though they go through extensive training to come in. But even sometimes people have mental issues, they're human. People. They come in and they're very excited and they work, and then the pressure of work, whatever, they're having like problems here, problems there. What happens if we're not in the picture? Now you just lost someone that worked with you for a year, and you have to go from scratch and find another one.
Yeah,
and that's another pain point.
I recently brought on board another company to do tasks for me. Right, they call that guy a doer.
Okay,
right, and he's supposed to do all of these things for me, like whether write this and do that and prepare a social media campaign, just all kinds of different things. Bro, 2 days after the guy goes live, 2 days, unfortunately, his father passes away.
Oh.
So he's on leave, bereavement leave, this, that, for a few weeks now.
Wow.
I still have to pay for this service. and I got nothing to show for it.
Shit.
A very little, yeah, exactly, and very little to show for it. So it's like, well, you just touched on. This just happened to me, like now, bro.
Yeah.
Now.
So,
and it's like, you have to be sympathetic because obviously you're sympathetic to the situation, but at the same time, it's like
I'll tell you
the
about
show must go on kind of thing,
Yeah, I'll tell you about a story. Like just this week, one of the members for some of my clients, they're just going through emotional thing, and they just can't work anymore. Guess what? The customer, all he saw is, hey, I'm this person. I'm taking over from this person because they're on medical leave.
Right.
Like this.
Yeah.
They already know the business. They know the structure. It's just taking over. That's it. Because everything we do, if you notice, my entire vision and my goal is to have everything so transparent that if you see something wrong, you can see it quickly. We don't want to put anything under the rug. Like there's no need to hide and bullshit.
Right.
We want it to be transparent. Right. Even if we're wrong, you come and tell, oh, they dropped the ball in this area. I'm like, you know what? They're human. Let's work on how to work it out.
It happens, and they are not you. They know what they know. They know what they know about building a website, or building an app. They don't have your
vision.
Well, they don't have your niche knowledge, right? This person may not know there's 10 tourniquets out there. So they could make a little mistake, and when they write something or they put the wrong picture or whatever, that happens.
Yeah.
And then you just correct them and move on.
Now imagine if you have this team working with you 6 months, then a year, then 2 years. You building superhumans for your company.
Yeah.
Because our job is to prevent you from firing them, because firing is easy. But fixing them is harder,
right?
But it's much better long term.
Sure.
Because as long as they have work ethic and they miss certain things here and there, we coach, we train, because humans will always mess up.
And then if you fire them, you got to start again.
With another person,
somebody else.
He could be worse, he could be better. But it's like I always say, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what some people don't understand is like, it's important for you to keep the same team as long as possible, unless circumstances prevent.
Sure.
And they're capable, because technically they can do everything you want.
Yeah.
It takes them time to understand your vision, your style.
Your
Everyone
products,
has a style of communication. Yeah. Some are visual, some are not visual, And once they understand how to communicate with you, how to take the order, how to take the task, when you have an emergency meeting, they understand. During that time, there's meetings. Your company becomes better, bigger, and then they go from employees to be like your right hand. They're like, hey, by the way, we made a research and we found out this is a new thing.
Yeah.
And I think we just wanted to give it in front of you.
Yeah.
So now you have people that are doing research for you. It taking even more loads off.
Yeah.
And you can't have that by hiring a company, because what companies do, and I used to be a normal company for many, many, many years before this program, is I acquire the knowledge and then I charge you to do the task, but I don't share the knowledge. Versus now, no, we acquire the knowledge and we just pass it on to you. And then we even have our program, Meet Power Partner. We can just join a lot of entrepreneurs, like-minded people, like CEOs. They share. Like, this worked for me, and they share. And when we share our information and our tools and our resources, we all grow. It's not just your company that grows. We grow too, because my infrastructure keeps growing. Your business keeps growing. We become strong partners because now you have this one company that has your back, and if something is wrong in a certain area, you can reach out, and we have resources that can, boom, take care of that instantly.
Yeah, and that's great, man. That's just phenomenal. That's essential for a business to grow.
Yes,
you have to have all these tools, because otherwise you're just going to be a solo entrepreneur or whatever.
Doesn't work.
And just doesn't work. It works if you're a hobbyist.
Yeah.
Right. But if you have vision to go and quit your job and make the business a real scalable business that you can exit at some point, you have to have all these things in place.
The thing with solopreneurs, and I work with a lot of them, they leaving 90% on the table.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
in order for you to grow, you have to learn how to delegate,
Yeah,
and you have to learn how to trust.
That's a problem. That's a problem
Yes.
for a lot of people, especially
Yes.
at first,
Yeah.
right? And I struggle with that, right? But you got to get over it.
Yeah, but you're doing the right thing. You have this company doing this. You have this company.
Yeah,
doing
you know,
like
it did, but it wasn't a one day to the thing.
Of course, yeah.
To the next day,
Yeah.
you struggle with all of those things, but eventually you have to get to the point where you have to you use logic and reasoning to try to get rid of whatever blocks you have, and then move forward.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're not going to get to that level.
I think you have an amazing business. I think you're an amazing person, an amazing human, and you're trying to really help people out there with education and with tools.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I like about you. You're not just giving them the education on how to do things. You have the resources if they need to use it.
Because what you see a lot of in this space, right? The tactical medicine first aid space, you see a lot of companies that do product, and you see a lot of individuals or even companies that do training. But very, very few of them, number one, do both
Yep.
or do it well,
Yes.
right? And I could not do both at one time. Now is when I'm starting to try to mix them as much as I can, starting off with some of the little snippets and
Yep.
talking head stuff and type videos that I'm doing on Instagram, because it's easy knowledge.
Yeah.
And then that leads up to some of the things that we're talking about in terms of online, like fully developed online programs and online courses, for later on this year. But yeah, man, it's you don't see a lot of molding or blending of product
No.
and good training.
No. And for you, it's a matter of like when, because you already have it mapped. Now it's just a matter.
Yeah,
of
because
when.
like as an individual, if someone contracts me to do a 4-day class somewhere, I have to go, and I can't be running the business. I'm not able to run the business,
That's true.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a challenge.
Yes. And you are scaling at a fast pace, and it needs more people and more
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Just this morning, my sister texted me. She says, "Hey, I wanna speak to you because I have some ideas on how to improve your sales pipeline."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And she said something like, "I think your business can do this much this year." And I'm like, "Whoa, that's a pretty high number, bro. A pretty high number." So we need to figure out how to get there, because my sister is in business, right? She works for a very, very high profile company. She knows how to do this. And if she says that we can do this,
Then we can.
we could probably do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? We just need to have all the little
Yep,
things in
yep,
place.
Yep. Just the infrastructure. I always believe
Just
like,
the infrastructure.
You have a nice infrastructure.
And she had no idea that I'm coming here to talk to you
Yeah.
today. It was just a random text.
Now she's gonna see it, and
Now she's gonna
like,
see
yeah.
it. Yeah. So
So I always say, like, if you're not built to scale, you're built to fail.
Right.
Because what happens is, if your infrastructure can't handle all the loads, because
yeah.
let's say you build the infrastructure and it has max capacity,
Yeah.
you gotta make a change,
You gotta make a change, yeah.
because you can't. There shouldn't be a max capacity when it comes to something like that.
Right.
I don't want to take more of your time,
good,
but I wanted to see like if there's anything you want to say to your audience and your students and
Just the one thing that I want to leave people with is that I don't want folks to realize that emergencies are overwhelming or hopeless, right? There's all kinds of different examples out there, whether it was from incidents in schools or incidents in churches or incidents on the street. There's so many instances where good people were able to do something to help someone else. All it took was a little bit of knowledge, right? And that little bit of knowledge turned into action. So I want everybody to know that first aid is universal, right? You don't have to be a combat medic, a SWAT medic, a paramedic, whatever, to make a difference in someone's life. There's a lot of skills that are easily learned by everyone. And,
All right.
you could save a life, man.
And what is the site if they want to reach in and look at the gear?
My main site is tactical-medicine.com.
Nice.
If you do them both together, you end up somewhere else.
Okay.
So you got to put that little dash in the middle, right?
Yeah, yep.
Or even easier, tac.med.
That's easy. Yeah.
All
right, guys. Thank you for enjoying this episode. We'll see you on next episode of RewardLion. And if you interested in knowing more about what RewardLion does, just Google RewardLion and it'll come up. It's rewardlion.com is our main site. All right. You have a wonderful day.